Hello everyone, Josh here with X's, bringing guys and gals some more King Arthur, and today we got some pretty bad news, I guess. Really depends on how you look at it and kind of where you're at account-wise. Our boy Girk is going to be going over all the new hero balances that we have, but I'm going to be focusing in today's video on one particular hero and kind of how it can kind of unfold and become a snowball effect going forward into global launch and beyond, and how it can be a very negative effect in the game, because I know there can be some creators out there that aren't going to be looking at it from this perspective, but I've seen this done time and time again, and it can really kill a game. Now, it's a little bit too early to say that this is going to be a game killer, or it's going to just run off a whole bunch of players, but it is a major issue that a lot of players are going to be facing right now, and potentially in the future, and we want to kind of talk about it right now, and hopefully, kind of get that feedback out to the devs as soon as possible, so they hopefully can make the necessary adjustments going forward, so this type of thing does not happen, hopefully, again. All right, so our boy Bon Ban has been essentially castrated. He is no longer a man. He is just a sack of potatoes. I really don't know what else to call him at this point. He is basically going to hit like a wet noodle. They nerfed him so bad. He not only got nerfed to the ground, he went into the ground. He dug a ditch, his own grave, and jumped inside of it and buried himself alive. That is how bad that they did him dirty. Now, I get it. He's a rare hero. Maybe he shouldn't be doing some crazy damage, that even some legendaries will only hope to achieve. However, the game was in it was in like an early access or no wipe, CB tier, whatever, for several months before the game got taken down, everybody got refunded, and then now the game is back out again in yet another, form of early access. Now, the game is available in the UK, it's available in Canada, and maybe some other regions overseas, I'm not entirely sure, but the game is essentially on mobile in a few different countries and completely global if you use the PC client from their official website. So to say this game is not globally launched would be a lie, because it technically is. If you are playing on PC, it is available to anyone who goes to the website and gets the client. Now, with that said, the cash shop is also available in the game, and it has been since day one, since they opened up early access, right? So you can purchase packs and all that, and make investments and all that good stuff. That's all well and good. There's a lot of players who have spent not only time, but money on building this hero up, because he's very strong and he helps you clear a lot of content that you otherwise couldn't, because really his only alternative was Bedivere, which conveniently enough, and we know why this was done, he is now the new raid up hero. And that was done on purpose, and they even buffed Bedivere slightly, not much, but a little bit, and completely nerfed Bon and pretty much any rare hero that scales to attack speed into the ground completely. They completely killed that entire mechanic for rares. Now, the big downside to this is Bon was a character that you would build with attack speed. So you can see right here, I have a full attack speed set, very heavily invested into him. Now, I'm not running, all 5 and 6 star gear, but from where I am in this, point in time in the game, it took me a lot of investment into this gear. Gold was a lot. The re-rolling on all the substats to get the right substats for him and everything like that, it took a lot of time, effort, investment, and even some money to get him to this point. My Bon is like 213 speed. I had him at 220, but I made a quick change. And I know some people have him like in the 240s and 250s. They had him built really well. They also went out and they found his green relic from the exchange shop, and they purchased it. So that's another thing. And then they invested a lot of materials, lots of stamina to farm those materials, lots of gold to build those relics up to get them all maxed out. So he's ready to go, and he's going to go ahead and carry you pretty far in the game, which is all good. Now, what's the big deal about that? You're not going to be running an attack speed set on a lot of units, because most of your units are going to be running on vigor set. Okay? So now you have a very strong, powerful set of gear that's going to be limited on who you're going to actually put it on now, because not all units want a crap load of attack speed. They need other stats or other sets that, you now have, you kind of put on the back burner to build this up. So now this is setting you back potentially. Now you could definitely throw this set of gear on another DPS and it'll definitely work out for a little while. But it's just the fact that you built all this up specifically for this hero because you wanted to use him, that you can no longer do so because he is absolutely crap now. And the nerfs were very severe. Let's go look at him real quick. So let's go down his relics. I do not own his green relic, so I guess I saved myself a little bit of trouble with not getting that from the exchange shop because it never showed up for me. But I was working on his blue one. As you can see, I'm up to level 50. Thankfully, I didn't get it all the way up to 60. But if you look at some of the differences now in his skill set, he used to do 1.5% attack on the modifier for attack speed. They nerfed it down all the way to 0.4. If you know math, 1.5 to 0.4, that is a massive, massive nerf. Like, that's just not being nerfed. That's being completely eliminated from the game. Why even have this hero at this point? He's just a body on the field now. They didn't increase his base attack modifier to kind of help make up for that loss of damage. Nope, they just completely shut him down. Obsolete. Old news. This guy went from last week being a top tier DPS to this week being one of the worst heroes in the freaking game for rares. That quick, they can take a unit that you invest all your time and effort into and make it obsolete. This is not a good thing, because you could say, well, they give us a reset ticket. Yeah, the reset tickets do not give you the actual resources that you really need. All the stuff that I put into his relics, I don't get that back. None of it. Any rare shards that you feed into him to get his chivalry up, or any of the dupes that you fed into him that you can now, I guess, use in the exchange shop, gone permanently. You don't get none of that back. And those shards are very, very hard to come by resources. Very hard. Those are no longer available to you. You don't get those back. This is not a true reset. This is a half-assed reset where you're only getting back just normal farmable resources from the dungeons that you could get back, that you could get anyways just by using stamina. But they don't give you back none of the relic stuff that you invest in. They don't give you back the relics that you have to exchange for. They don't give you back the shards that you invest in. Those are the things that you're going to want back in that reset. So, it's kind of just throwing salt into the wound here. Kicking a guy when he's down. Kicking a man when he's down. Right? Mugging somebody who can't even defend themselves. That is literally what they did to this, because just nerfing the hero to the ground, making him obsolete, was bad enough, because now it's going to be a heavy hit on a lot of players' accounts. But we can overcome it. Over time, we can make amends and do something with other units perhaps. Right? I'm going to get back to that point in a minute. But the issue is, you can't reset the hero and get all your investment back to use it on another hero. You're only getting a partial reset here. A partial investment has been returned. The rest of it is lost to the digital nether realm that you're never going to get back. And that's not good. Now, kind of circling back to what I just previously said about, hey, you could use other units that could be stronger. Let me talk about that now. This is a this is even bigger than the nerf to Bond. This is going to be long-term side effects that could happen from this. Long-term negative effects to free-to-plays, casuals, and whales. Nobody is safe from this potential disaster. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, Bond is completely nerfed to the ground. Who else could we use as a rare, as a damage dealer? Well, you have K. K could be a pretty good option as a good, strong damage dealer. If you have the red relic, you could also use Rosier. Rosier as a red relic is a monster. She has a really cool kit. She could be really strong. You got our boy King Arthur with the red relic and the green one. Both can do pretty good damage in the right circumstance, especially if you get them all the way up to Chivalry 8, which I'm about to get there. And you'll be able to do that pretty easily through the PvP shop. Get his shards. Not bad investment there. He's the main character of his own story. He should be good, right? Okay. We got some other options that are potential candidates to kind of fill those shoes, those very massive shoes that Bond left behind. If you don't want to go the whole Bedivere route or any other pay-to-win option, we got to go heavy into your legendaries. We have maybe some options, right? Heck, Nicholas could be a good option if you aren't running into too much AoE and you're trying to clear more like single target heavy content. He could be really strong there with his stealth spam and his counter attack damage spam that he's going to be doing. He scales to defense. You could really get that stat up, make him a tank DPS. Could be a lot of fun. But here is what could actually happen in reality now. And this is what no other content creator is really out there saying, and they really should be saying it, because it's going to change everything if they do it again. I don't want to hear no crap about, oh, the game's not globally launched yet. If they do it to global, then we'll complain. No! The game is launched right now globally on PC and partially globally because it's in a few countries on mobile. Cash shops are fully open. So there's no excuse for doing this. The game was also on a CBT no wipe for almost a year before this version. So they've had plenty of time to adjust and balance these things. This is why I don't like debuffs. I don't like nerfs in games. I'd rather have other units get buffed up to kind of have more diversity. They could have also maybe nerfed some of the enemies in this game that are very challenging to kind of go and coincide with the heavy nerfs that they just inflicted. But they didn't do that either. They did not do anybody any favors unless you want to spend a bunch of money and go and pull for Bedivere, which is what they want you to do. Very predatory, very scummy. And by the way, there's no freaking carryover for your pity on the rate-up banners that are 50-50 with no guarantee to ever get the rate-up hero. What are we doing? Did we go back 10 years, Netmarble? What happened? You were on a good streak with 7 Deadly Sins Seven Deadly Sins Idol, and then you're on a good streak, obviously, with solo leveling, being very free to play, very good. What are you doing with this? What happened? You want to be an alternative to Raid? You want to go out there and kind of give us another option for that more Western style turn-based RPG? And this is what you do? This is scummy behavior, Netmarble. I'm not even going to talk about how scummy your content creator program is, because that's a whole other video for another day, and we'll get into that, ladies and gentlemen. Either me or Gurky will cover that. That is atrocious, and we'll get into that. But this is absolutely insanity, and this is where the snowball effect can come into play and really ruin everything. If they can nerf Bond to the ground that hard, as well as some other units that caught strays, because they weren't even mentioned or even talked about very often, they still got nerfed too, just because. What are they gonna do in the next rebalancing, and the one after that, and one after that? They're gonna nerf Kay next. They're gonna nerf Rosier next. They're gonna nerf Arthur, the main character of the game. Are they gonna nerf all these other rare units that we find that are useful and strong, and just nerf everything without giving us any alternatives that are, just as easy to build, or at least within reason? No, they're gonna keep pushing for the legendaries, for the raid ups, for the monetary gain. Spend, or you just suck. That's what they told me with this patch. This patch, I don't even know how it could be even worse than it was. And what's sad is the good stuff in the patch, like some of the events that we got, are actually pretty decent. They're kind of getting lost in the sauce because of how bad the overall patch and the impact on it was for the overall player base. And here, guys, me and Gurky, we'll give it to you straight. We'll tell you exactly what's going on. We're very transparent about these issues in the game. We spend, we support the game, we cover the game, but if there's major issues like this, we will tell you. And this is a major issue, and it could become a bigger issue. It could snowball out of control if it's not put in check now. So go do the survey, do your feedback. Tell the devs, tell the community reps, tell anybody you can get a hold of from Netmarble, this was not cool. They could have handled this a bunch of different ways. They could have done a few different things to better transition, some of these characters out of the meta and still allow us the resources to go in and kind of choose other options without being completely devastated. Because again, this could get out of hand. If they're going to do this to Bond, who's to say that someone else is going to be next and next and next? you're going to be, as a player, investing all your time and resources into a unit that might become obsolete the next week. It's not good. It's just not good. I've seen this happen too many times. As a matter of fact, if you want to stick it within genre, within similar art style and animation, and just everything when it comes to another alternative to Raid, let's look at Awakened Chaos Era. They did that. Game is basically dead. IMR, Infinite Magic Raid, had so much hope, so much praise. Management came in, ruined it, just like they're doing right now on this patch. That game is basically dead. Is this going to be the trifecta? Are we going to hit a triple with King Arthur? I hope not. Netmarble, do better. Because this was bad. Very bad. Let me know what you guys and gals think in the comment section below. Let me know and all that stuff and more. I'm going to get out of here. I'm frustrated. I don't know why they did what they did. I fully expected that Bomb was going to get nerfed. I didn't think they were going to nerf him into the ground and dig his own grave. I didn't know they were going to hit other units from it. I didn't know they were not going to give us the pity carryover. None of that stuff was told. None of that was transparent. They just completely said, screw the player base with this patch. And it's very unfortunate. All right, I'm getting out of here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, take notifications. Join us in the Discord in the description below as always. And I'll catch you guys and gals in the next one. Until then, peace.